Welcome back to the Dark Manor podcast. It's been quite a while. I'm Haxon.
I'm Iris. Let's take this shit off because this hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
For people listening on like Spotify and all that, we were wearing masks. And to the people who's watching this on YouTube, hey, we now have visuals. That's
Hell
fun.
Yeah. We're gonna use one time and one time only.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. This is gonna be fun.
So, I basically peer pressured Hax into coming back, and we now are doing Dark Manor podcast again after
Live.
You left us for the last episode.
Hey, look, I didn't want to read Stickly.
It was on my birthday.
It's not my fault that budget cuts kicked me out. That's on you.
Okay. So we're back. Do we want to explain stuff like if we're doing like? Do we want to explain stuff like the series or stuff?
I think all we should say is, you see Dark Manor live now. It's about to get even more live in the next couple of months, hopefully.
Let's hope we can get off our asses to get to work.
We got a big Dark Manor project coming up. It's gonna be big, and we hope to have lots of fun doing it.
Yeah. So, when looking at all the different creepypastas we did, Hax made the sudden realization we never read The Rake.
One of the most popular creepypastas to ever exist, and we said, who?
No, let's read fucking Rap Rat.
Let's read Stickly. Like, come on.
Let's read Sonic.exe.
Two Jeffs. Two Jeffs we read.
Yeah, we read. And we didn't even read the most popular one. We just read the original one and the reboot one. Which like there is a sequel to the reboot one, which
we should do.
Yeah.
Next live action Dark Manor podcast.
We're recording this every Monday, and we're releasing this every Wednesday as per our tradition.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So, since when Hax saw the Rake creepypasta, he did notice that it's pretty short, so we're doing two creepypastas, and unlike last time when we just didn't know what creepypastas to read, we now are deciding if we're going to be doing two beforehand, and what the theme is, because there will always be a theme with the two creepypastas. This week, we're doing the Rake, and then Slenderman, two creature-based creepypastas, and then the
Another
second...
Slenderman.
Yeah. Then again, there's so many Slenderman stories.
Yeah. We'll run out eventually.
That's an advertisement. All those people on Spotify, yes. I pointed to,
We got a TV with, one of our favorite web series, Marble Hornets, running in the background.
Used to be my favorite, but then ECVA came out.
But now we're on entry 2, and, yep, look, we got Marble Hornets going on. So
don't sue us, Troy.
Slenderman operator.
Yeah, that's the entire explanation of the joke of me pointing. Cause look,
it's gonna be a lot funnier on YouTube.
All
you audio listeners, you're fucked.
Let's talk about that. There's multiple Slenderman stories, so this isn't the last we'll be seen of the character.
We won't be running out anytime soon.
Hell, we'll be making some eventually, most likely.
Hint, hint.
No, it's not a fucking hint. Nothing's set for certain. We're not even sure if this is releasing in 2 days.
It better be. You're the one editing it.
Okay. We should probably get into the details of...
Details.
The fucking story, Hax.
The story? What story?
Rake, you're doing it first.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
That's because you read Stickly without me. Yeah,
fun.
So the Rake, it's a little story about a little
not too well known.
No one's ever heard of it. We're the first. We made it.
Yeah. We are the creators of every single creepypasta to ever exist.
Anyways,
shut your fucking mouth.
It's a story about a little hairless looking dog thing.
I prefer it to just be like, because it doesn't really explain. As far as I remember,
you can't really explain the Rake besides it's some little gremlin guy.
I just like to think it's a normal human who just fucking...
runs around naked.
He was raised by wolves and he just...
It's like SCP-096, except just he's got his dick hanging out.
He doesn't have one.
That we know of.
We're looking at a photo of him right now.
It's dark, and it's probably cold.
Just read the fucking story, Hacks.
Okay. The Rake. That's it. That's the name of the story. So, during the summer of 2003, I was born in 2003. Events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest. We're on the internet. That's why I read it.
It's not a Dark Manor story without us fucking up.
Yeah. Sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused on rural New York State and once found in Idaho.
Fucking Idaho?
Why Idaho? I mean, it's better than Iowa. Or Ohio.
Or Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Or Alabama.
What's wrong with Alabama? Fair enough. Yeah. It's already got one monster. Self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions range from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, the memories remained powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year.
I'll be real, I've never read the Rake story, so this is completely not what I imagined this was going to be.
It'll get interesting. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and present day. Spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical.
That's 24.
Shut the fuck
It's 24 documents.
Yeah, I know. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts from their upcoming book, titled The Rake. Real or fake? A suicide note from 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act.
What the fuck is an assuage?
I don't know. It's like an apology, I guess. It is not the fault of anyone other than him, for once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice, and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Linny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. Hey, Linny, that sounds familiar. Like Everyman Hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fun fact, I don't remember what it's called, but on YouTube there's another web series based around the Rake, and they collaborated with Everyman Hybrid. And it's based off of...
Whispered Faith?
No. That's someone else. It's a different one. Less well known.
Is it the one about Alex?
No. Wait, what Alex? Everyman Hybrid's Alex?
Yeah.
No, it's another. Again, less well known, it technically has nothing to do with Everyman Hybrid besides it's linked to the Rake. Anyways, the character of Linny is based off of this Linny.
I will be 100% real. I am 99% sure that Hack stole that fact from Nightmind.
Well, you didn't know. A journal entry, translated from Spanish.
No, I'm fluent in Spanish. I take Spanish too in my at school right now. I can do this.
All right. This is all. Okay, there's also another version in Spanish. He's gonna read it for us, but he's gonna translate it to English.
I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. Guess what?
What?
I see his eyes when I close mine.
Oh,
They are
shit.
hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice, unintelligible text.
Man, you even knew that one in Spanish? Insane.
See.
Fun fact, there was not a Spanish version.
Fun fact, I'm shit at Spanish.
Fun fact, so am I. A mariner's log in 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took
You sucked him off?
Sucked his toes. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again. At the request of the Rake. What thing names themselves the Rake?
This thing.
Fair enough. Put a picture. Put a picture
This thing.
just so we know better. Put a picture. Podcast listeners, oh well.
Just look up a photo of the Rake.
Yeah, you'll find some easily. From a witness in 2006.
Can I do this?
Go ahead.
Okay. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July.
4th.
What were you adding?
Why not the 5th?
It's a holiday!
Says who?
Republicans?
Fuck the Republicans. This is a joke. I don't care about politics.
Yeah,
don't,
we
don't.
don't.
Don't spear us, please.
We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband has gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him I thought he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man, or a large hairless dog of some sort.
See large hairless dog.
Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At first, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him.
Hey, help this naked man. You sucking your husband's toes, first thing you gotta do is check if he's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously.
My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucked into a fetal position, occasionally glancing at me, returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5, it just seemed like a while. Just looking at my husband. Fuck you, hacks. The creature then placed its hand on its knee and ran into the hallway, leading to the kids' rooms. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children.
Which one were you gonna do?
It's the Rake, just hit him.
It's the Rake. He can spear you with his fingers.
Just curb stomp him.
Curb stomp him.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little dude.
Okay.
Where were we?
When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over about 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara. The teacher ran down...
Teacher?
The creature
Shit, living with
ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the Rake."
The Rake.
The Rake.
The Rake.
My husband drove his car into a lake that night, while rushing our daughter into the hospital. They did not survive. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and then the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house after we decided to return home. I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town over who had a similar story. We got in contact and
Man, his husband died in a car accident in the lake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know how long this was.
Do you want me to take over?
Sure.
But there's still a few paragraphs.
Yeah, you can.
Alright. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature we now refer to as the Rake. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the Rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in its first 3 pages, and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the Rake. That was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people also mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the Rake had visited any of us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night. Jesus, Jay! Left it running all night, every night.
That's Tim.
That's Tim and Sarah. Same difference. Rolling around. For 2 weeks, I would tediously scan through the sounds of me rolling around in my bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the 2nd week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. He's going somewhere. It still took almost an hour every day. On the first day of the 3rd week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the Rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. Put down the alcohol. It's not alcohol.
It's Juggernog.
When you need a little revive.
It's not even the perk!
I haven't let anyone listen to it yet. All I know is that I've heard it before, and now I believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason the voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that it must gone through my daughter's head make me very upset. I have not seen the Rake since he ruined my life, but I know that he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear that one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me. That's the end.
You know, for a popular creepypasta, that is weirdly good.
What do you mean weirdly? It's good for a reason.
You know how many popular creepypastas are absolute shit?
Jeff! No.
Jeff, Jane, Nina.
You ever heard of this guy called Iris? He's crap.
Stream The Corrupted World on Spotify.
No, in the darkness on YouTube. It's not even. It's not even active anymore. Seth.
Brought his dog.
Okay, so the Rake.
First time reading it. First time.
I enjoyed that a lot, but there is a critique I have with it.
Always must be.
So, it originally started with the kind of guise that this is an investigation and showing various documents, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then why stop? Why stop after the 3rd thing and just go on this completely story? This story is really good and would make for a fine supplement creepypasta, but I feel like this one needed to stick with the format that was a bunch of short things to keep the mystery of the creature alive.
I like the thing. Maybe it was he had no time, so he posted what he had because Rake came for him. He got raked.
Yeah.
He got raked.
So my idea for why didn't the Rake catch on as SCPs do? Because that format is kind of similar to what SCPs are, just a bunch of different stories under the same guise. Unless I'm completely wrong, I don't know. I haven't read many SCPs. Don't kill me, Dr. Shearman.
I'll give you a SCP run through after this. Yo, is that To the Ark?
I think it's this video. Yeah. Okay. So after all that, I would still really recommend the Rake. The Rake is a really good creepypasta, and I think the Rake is actually somewhere in this book. If the camera sees this is Creepypasta, the role-playing game. Actually, is the camera still recording?
That's what I was thinking. Is it? Are we still going?
Movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Yeah, this motherfucker.
Okay, so, fun fact.
The camera.
Camera died. I think I might leave that outtake towards the end when it... Yeah, so you guys heard everything, but...
not see everything.
Yeah, just not see anything, which is fine, but...
Saddening.
Yeah,
But we're back.
We're back. We're ready for our second creepypasta, I hope. Are you ready?
Never heard of the word. Yes. Just fucking smart.
Okay, so...
What are we reading now?
I went on creepypasta.com and on popular creepypastas it just says Slenderman, so we're just reading one that's just called Slenderman. It is written by... If I can find the author.
You know what I'm reading? This is just like an info thing about who
there's Slenderman
is.
creepypasta story.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. We ready?
No.
I'm not fucking ready as well. Okay, Slenderman creepypasta story. After waking up with a jolt, the girl laid in bed a few seconds longer. Reaching over to switch on her bedside lamp, she tried to remember exactly what had stolen her sweet slumber away. When she couldn't, the brunette swung her legs over the side of the bed and heaved herself up, checking the time on her phone. She snorted when she saw it was midnight. The witching hour. Ooh.
That's 3. Dumbass.
Okay,
Witching hour.
Knowing that sleep only evade her, she left her bedroom for the kitchen. A good cup of coffee on her mind as she passed by her front door, a chill...
Supposed to help you sleep. Spread like
I can slap you for a third time. Don't test me. Okay,
Good cup of coffee on her mind.
As she passed by her front door, a chill spread like liquid fire down her spine. It's only winter, she told herself, focusing again on the coffee plan. Measuring out scoops, water, and preparing her cup kept her occupied. But as the dark liquid boiled, she had nothing left to keep her mind from wandering off. The chill returned, and she couldn't help but glance behind her to the front door. It stood there innocently enough, just like always. The deadbolt was still in place, and she could see nothing amiss with it. Turning back to her coffee, she did her best to forget about the feeling. With her cup in hand, she started back towards the bedroom. As she walked by the front door, she decided that a quick glance out the peephole would... No. I am having issue... Like, me stopping, half of the time is me, and the other half is the website just completely moving the placement of the words.
Oh, really? It's not doing that for me.
Yeah, it's doing it for me. Hold on.
As long as you don't move it too much.
No, I'm not even moving it, and it's doing it.
Oh, now it's... What? You jinxed me now.
Yeah, you see what I mean!
Well, now it's not doing it.
Okay, she decided that a quick glance out the peephole would help her calm her restless mind. The chill worsened with each step she took towards the door and further away from the safety and warmth of her blankets. She pressed her empty hand against the cold metal door and took a deep breath before leaning her eye to the peephole. At first, she could see only an inky blackness and somehow seemed to swirl in itself. When she blinked in surprise, the void melted away. Where is it?
Right there.
The void melted away. She wished it hadn't. In its place, there stood what she could only guess was once a man. The limbs were long and inhumanly awkward, with bulky joints branching off into several arms, not unlike the branches of a tree. The creature was draped in a black suit, somehow making the thing more nightmarish to her. The icing on the proverbial cake, however, was that was what passed as the hellish thing's face. It was though her mind blurred the ghastly visage to spare herself further of shock and horror. She shoved herself away from the door with the hand still pressed against it. The scalding mug of coffee fell, the liquid burning her bare legs as she fell backwards and tried to crawl away from the door. She knew somehow that her mind hadn't been playing tricks on her. As she crab walked away from the door... You had to specify crab walking.
Yeah, you could have just said crawled backwards. No, crab walk.
As she walked away from the door, she watched as tendrils as black as the void she first saw snake ache around through the cracks. The girl was trapped between the instinct to flee and the gut feeling not to turn her back to the door. When the door jolted, the urge to flee overcame her as she slipped in the burning liquid as she tried to make it back to her room.
It's probably worse than a Lego. Oh, it was an actual slap.
She knew deep down that she was trapping herself in a corner, but she had to get away from the door. The girl was halfway down the hallway when she heard the previously locked door creak open. She screamed and slipped into a wall, cracking her chin on it and stunning her. After that, there was only blackness. Star. 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 Yeah, okay, I'm gonna show the camera this. If you can see, we're not joshing you. There is stars.
Stars. Just stars. Nothing but stars.
There's a line here, so I need to adjust my voice.
Nicole!
You moved out of the way!
I was hoping it wasn't my penis.
Nicole. A warm, male voice snapped the woman out of her trance. As she turned around, she was met by one of her sister's doctors.
Why one of them?
She nodded, not sure if he could say anything, or if she should say anything, or even if she could find her voice if she did have something to say. That morning, she had gotten an urgent phone call from the hospital, saying that her sister, Lindsay, was there. Before they had even let her see her, the doctor had pulled her off to the side and insisted that they talk to her about what might have happened. Phrases like self-inflicted and assault had been thrown around, and Nicole felt her mind reel. He still hadn't fully understood what they had been saying until she saw Lindsay with her own eyes. Her little sister had a bandage wrapped around her head, covering both of her ears as well as her eyes. They said it was to keep her now dead-end eyes from drying out, and to try to keep infection out of the wounds Lindsay had made to her ears. The doctors had guessed that either she or someone else had jammed a pencil into them to keep her off balance, or to deafen herself against something. I'm sorry. It's the fucking... I'm blaming the controller.
Do you need me to finish for you?
No. There was a mix of first and second degree burns on her hands, legs, and feet from what was assumed to be the coffee her neighbors found slipped all over the entry to her apartment. As Nicole walked into her sister's hospital room for the first time, she thought she had spied the silhouette of a man in the window. That, she knew, was impossible. Her sister's room was on the third story of the hospital. Credit anonymous.
Then you got some old Slenderman photos.
Yeah, we got some Slenderman photos.
You would know these quite well, you know. Yeah, some of your original stuff. You know, the kids in the park. The other one with the kids in the park. The other one with Slenderman and a child probably in a park. Slenderman likes kids in a park.
Okay, so as a self-contained Slenderman story,
I give it a 5 out of 10.
Really? 5 out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to it to me personally.
Well, yeah, but I am gonna give it a higher score due to one simple factor. It's the first Slenderman story I've read without featuring proxies.
Yay!
Yeah, take that, Everyman Hybrid.
Take that, Tribe 12.
Don't say his fucking name.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the story, just the one who created it. Like Laughing Jack.
The fuck was with Laughing Jack?
Children.
Oh.
Yeah. Not just who Laughing Jack killed, but... Yeah. We don't talk about that!
We're gonna talk about fun times on the Dark Manor podcast.
Yeah, that's for the Darker Manor podcast.
We're not making a Darker Manor podcast.
Why not?
What would we do?
His shoulders? I mean arms? Look at his hairy arms.
We'd be doing his arms?
Shit. You're ruining the set.
Fuck. So, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 from that. It's short, it's sweet, but it does give a little bit of detail to it. Like, I like the imagery of the tendrils being tree branches.
I do like that and how they might have come out.
That might have been the first time I've heard that analogy used. Though, I do think it's a common one.
Yeah. It's like, whenever... Because at the same time, what better way to describe dark tendrils than creaky, jagged branches?
Tentacle hentai. Duh.
Shut the fuck up.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's not good. It's not bad. It's decent.
as you can tell, we have so much more energy now that we're actually together and not doing this via Discord call.
Yeah.
Fuck, you almost made me fall over.
Exactly. We're having a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't mean to actually hit you.
This motherfucker almost straight up punched me. Shit. Alright, well, I guess we gotta do it. Oh.
Okay.
It's a tight fit back here. These are horrible conditions. I want a better set. You got me
don't
the...
have the budget or the popularity to
There's
do
a
that.
garage. Wait, but where would we set up the setup?
I think the
camera
does
died.
die.
That's the perfect way.
We're just gonna say this now. This has been the Dark Manor podcast. I'm Iris.
I'm Hax. My camera died.
Good night.